I've been talking about Gaines Mill for several videos now, so it's about time to actually go there and do the fight thing. To start, I'll give another reason why having video guides can be useful, and it's on this screen right here. If you were to believe this force distribution screen, then you are required to bring 2 corps, with 2 more as options, with up to 30 brigades taking part on the left side and 25 on the right. What isn't represented is that the actual number of brigades you can bring is limited to the number of corps you choose. You will only get these numbers of brigades into the fight if you choose to fill all 4 corps slots up. If you instead only choose to bring 1 corps on each side, then the actual number of brigades you can bring is 18 on the left and 13 on the right. And what's worse is, you don't even get to choose which ones. On map start, you select 10 brigades to bring in on the top left side. After that, you get periodic and totally random reinforcements. The top right decides to one-up that, as all of the units that come from that side filter in slowly and randomly from the available brigades. So if you want to know exactly what you are going to have available in this stage, you need to have no more than 18 brigades in your first selected corps, and no more than 13 brigades in your second selected corps. And if you want more brigades than that, you need to set up extra corps. So let's dive into my army screen. I think that anyone who watched my last video is a bit sick of this screen by this point, so instead of watching me do all the motions this time, I'll just go straight to the final result. I've renamed a few brigades from the end of last video so that they can be kept track of easier. I've also swapped the cannons of the 2 mid-range batteries to my Napoleons, and added 300 troops to the 1st and 2nd sniper brigades since I had 600 extra Lorenz rifles on hand. There is now exactly 18 brigades in 1st Corps. Due to the risky nature of what the Snipesomers will do this stage, I haven't given Hexamer the Whitworth sniper rifles yet, but he'll get them soon enough. Hopefully he'll get the 2nd star before this stage ends. Over in 2nd Corps, I have 13 brigades ready to go. 4 cannons, 8 infantry, and the 2nd sniper team. All of the infantry in 1st Division are using farmers' muskets, because despite me making jokes about captured weapons for the last half-dozen stages, I've actually managed to run all the way out of Springfields while setting this up. 3rd Corps is also going to be taking part. They only have 5 brigades handy, and they are using officers all the way down in rank to major, but their job is just to add some extra bodies to the fight. Half of these guys are also using farmers' muskets for the same reason that 2nd Corps is. I haven't had a stage yet where I can use the supply retreat trick to double my wagons, and Gaines Mill won't be that stage either, so 2nd and 3rd Corps will just bring in a 20,000 supply wagon each. How about this force disparity, eh? Even with the variance my low recon skill has built into it, I'm still way out in front of the Union here due to the performance of previous stages. It's a fine balance between keeping your troops alive and reducing the enemy's forces, but if done well, this is the type of situation it can get you. General McClellan's invasion army did not expect our aggressive maneuvers. Instead of using our forces to defend, we concentrated them for an assault towards the right flank of the Union Army. Overwhelmed by our tactical superiority, the Federal forces composing the Union right flank began to withdraw to the south. After a few miles' march, General Porter prepared a strong defensive line along the Boatswain Swamp in an effort to stop our advance. We must not lose this battle, or else the Union will get the upper hand and reach the gates of Richmond. The Union forces that made up McClellan's right flank have retreated through Gaines Mill. General Porter now holds a defensive line along Boatswain Creek. Our plan to suppress and destroy the Union's right flank is now at a very critical point. The main bulk of our forces are expected to arrive from the northwest. A portion of our army is ordered to maneuver to the east and flank the Federals. We must coordinate our attack from multiple directions and pass through the Union defenses Then continue south and threaten the main Union army. The Yankees will surely reinforce the area with more troops coming from this direction, so act with caution, General. We are moving into attack position. It is advised to carefully advance up to this ridge, clear the roads of enemy skirmishers, and maintain a defensive line until the rest of our reinforcements arrive. General, attack the Union lines behind the boatswain only if practicable? Okay, their position is strong. Good luck. Okay, first and most importantly, I am fully aware that this word is not pronounced boatswain. It's bosun. I just want to see if anyone rushes to the comments section before watching the whole video. And if someone did, thank you for raising my average number of comments per video above 0.5. The battle is 3 phases long, and the first phase takes part here. It starts out on rather even footing, troop count-wise. You start with 10 brigades of your choosing, and the enemy has about 11 of their own. 3 skirmishers will move to engage you around here, a half-dozen infantry, with 4 lined up in the defensive walls, and another couple behind in support, and 2 cannon batteries, 1 at each objective. Normally, when an opponent is defending a wall, I like to pull a Maginot and go around it. And I will be doing that here too, but I won't be able to complete it in Phase 1. The trip I'd have to make simply takes too long for the given timer, which is fine since I'll be getting additional forces throughout the stage. The first phase will be me mostly softening up the enemy with artillery fire, and maneuvering a couple units into key positions. Specifically, the Snipesmers and Team Midrange will be swinging around this long route. Midrange to get a flanking position on the southern wall, and the Snipesers to get some intelligence data. Right here is a vision point we can take advantage of, and having Hexamer either using it or getting intel from the high-covered trees right here is a great idea. He may even be allowed to take a few shots. Midrange's position is very meticulously planned. The goal is to have them in the exact position, and yes, I realize that will be in a swamp, where they can fire into the back side of the wall-defending unit by being just barely in range of the enemy soldier at the farthest southern point here. They will then hold position. As a result, they should end up holding their fire most of the time, except exactly when the enemy fully garrisons the defensive point, at which time they will get a buttocks full of bullets. At least during Phase 1. The rest of my team will be 3 infantry and 5 cannons, aligned as such, with the bottom infantry manning the forward-facing slope of the hill just out of range of the wall garrison, and the other 2 taking up some defensive cover. The farmstead here won't be able to fully conceal the 2,000-man infantry sent to it, but you should be able to get the cover bonus into the low 60s. Make no mistake, these 2 brigades are going to get the brunt of the enemy fire this stage. That's why I'm sending the oversized and under-equipped 3rd Sniper team to take the spot. The cannons will be on the hill to start, close to the infantry designated to guard them. Their primary job will be to lay supportive fire at this part of the enemy line. First priority target is the enemy artillery battery, which you can hopefully see thanks to the Snipesmers. But if the enemy cannons are hiding in the trees, the second best choice is one of the enemy infantry that isn't in the defensive wall. In almost all cases with this deployment, your cannons will be able to hit something in this area in the open field. And should the enemy decide to mount a charge, which certainly can happen, have your entire artillery division here switch targets and make them regret that choice. Phase 2 will open the map up to the right a bit, and the enemy has 2 full divisions of Pain standing right here that will become active as soon as it starts. These guys are a major reason why trying to pull a huge flanking maneuver during Phase 1 has a big problem. If you try to go through the swamp in Phase 1, you simply won't have the time, and if you try to swing around north, your army will only be about halfway done shooting the Union forces before 12-odd units suddenly show up behind them. The enemy reinforcements are combined of 3 skirmish teams, 3 cannons, a half-dozen infantry, and a melee cavalry squad. They also arrive a full game hour before your troops, who won't show up in the top right corner until halfway through Phase 2. The good news is, most of the enemy reinforcements are predictable. While it's true that the skirmishers may go just about anywhere, the rest of the army will tend to beeline towards only the enemies they can already see. Which means that, until your reinforcements do show up, they'll just end up moving themselves to the same place you are already engaging at, i.e., the places you are already well set up in. Once your troops in the northeast do start arriving, their goal is going to be to get down the eastern edge of the map. They may run into the enemy skirmish teams, but they should be able to just blow through them. The more they surround the right side of the enemy forces before said forces turn to meet them, the better. The map doesn't change for Phase 3, either in terms of terrain or troop count. The Union get no reinforcements at all. The CSA do get some fresh troops during Phase 3, but they start so far off in the map corners, relative to the remaining timer anyway, that their contribution to the fight is minimal at best. At least they can get some stamina training by running like mad trying to get into a position. I'll see if I can't swing my cannons around the trees instead of through them to start. ran into an enemy skirmish team here, and they can't see me. I guess Hexamer will get to take some shots after all. Let's see if the Snipesmers can't give the enemy cannons an impromptu colonoscopy here. Oh, they didn't like that. Look at him run. Wow, they ran into a position where the skirmish team is now shielding them from further fire, and are dancing with said skirmishers to keep them as a meat shield. I'd compliment the enemy cannons on that impressive move if I didn't think it was by total accident. Alright, enemy cannons down with 6 Phase 1 minutes to go. Keep attacking. More of our troops are entering the battlefield. We await our flanking force to arrive in about an hour along this road. General, it is advised to reserve our troops and attack all together with the final reinforcements. But of course, you may decide differently. And as soon as Phase 2 starts, the enemy infantry decide to put on their man pants and charge. The Snipesmers don't want to be anywhere near this, so let's have them slink to the vision point. The first batch of reinforcements are here. The infantry and cannon group I'll send to the center to help out with the upcoming enemy reinforcements that are due to arrive. The 4-pack of extra infantry from 3rd Corps will swing around south and try to get a surround going, though it will be already well into Phase 3 by the time they get there. Long-term planning, yo. Well, Hexamer has spotted everyone and their mothers charging in. Time to get him out of dodge. And the enemy brigades have reasserted their charge and changed targets to my mid-range brigade. If this had been any other brigade, they might have been in trouble, but mid-range teams exist for exactly this reason. And one parting posterior pummeling for good measure. With the Union controlling the vision point, Hexamer's team will be spotted for quite the distance. I have to hide him in this small grove of trees mid-swamp to regain stealth. I should point out this grove of trees. It's just large enough to hold a 2,000-man brigade, and half of its terrain actually counts as dense forest. If you want to press the northern end of the wall, getting a brigade in here is a good way to do it. Just be sure to issue a hold ground command to them once in position so they don't spin around to face disjointed targets. With the southern edge of the enemy wall in disarray, I'll move some of my cannons toward the center to get closer shots on what remains. Team Midrange can handle any attempt to remand the bottom wall segment. Now that the northeast reinforcements are here, have them move south, but keep them spread out to make sure no one sneaks by them, like some annoying skirmish teams. Also, given that even on normal walking speed, the reinforcements from 3rd Corps are at half stamina by the time they reach where Team Midrange is camped, I may as well have Midrange slide east as part of the surround. The trailing elements of 3rd Corps can take their spot. They've vacated the vision point. Time for Hexamer to retake the hill, with some backup. And this is why Union troops vacated the hill. They had skirmishers over here that spotted my approaching 2nd Corps, so some of their force turned to engage. Sucks for 2nd Corps, great for my surrounding southern forces. I really shouldn't have stopped to engage the skirmishers on the east a few minutes ago. I should have just kept on walking while firing, even if that meant taking a couple extra shots in the open from them. 2nd Corps isn't exactly my veteran troops, and the delay let more enemy brigades than I wanted get back to the east. At least more brigades than I wanted before my southern surround was finished. Break their defenses before nightfall. Every single unit of our attacking force is now present in the battlefield. Before the end of the day, we must push the Union south of those ridges. Prepare for the final assault. I'm going to make the mistake of listening to the stage's instructions and have the forces on the east briefly turn and engage the force in front of them instead of continuing south to complete the surround. Stupid instruction following mindset. At least I correct the mistake quickly. The good news is, the North Edge infantry is retreating wholesale, giving me clear routes right to most of their cannons. The less good news is, since the south portion of the surround isn't finished, the large number of retreating enemies realize something. They outnumber me pretty handily. Guess I have to deal with a charge or two now. Sadly, I failed to realize I had secured all 3 capture points. If I had let that enemy mass move just slightly more east, I could have dragged the stage out another 30 game minutes to win even harder. Still, half the Union army was cut down, and on my side I only lost about 2,700 men. One of my close support cannon batteries took a hammering, but that's to be expected. More losses on my veteran mid-range team than I'd prefer, but that's what they are there for after all. Poor Zook didn't get to fire once and took 3 deaths to collateral damage. No promotion for Hexamer? Darn it. No officer deaths and 2 injuries is still a pretty good result though. A dozen more captured Napoleons, Springfields I find myself desperately needing again, 3 captured supply wagons, and another 400 palmettos. And let's let the music finish. I love filling out copyright counter notices after all. General A.P. Hill has joined my army. Always nice to get a fresh high-tier officer. And with this, Gaines Mill is done. See you next video when we jump into another grand battle immediately. Malvern Hill.